evening, and some souls who couldn't come in the morning for the Murli class, they came just now for the evening meditation. So on Saturdays and Sundays, we do a full 1 hour of meditation from 6:30 to 7:30. So there was a very powerful atmosphere created here. There were just two souls and me, but the energy was profound. Yes, so we're going to do the Murli Manthan now. Yes, as I understand, we are going to discuss the Murli of 29th of December, 1989. Yes, is that right? Yeah. The essence of the Murli is actually the essence of the study is, so the title itself is the essence of the study is coming and going. An interesting title. So coming and going. What is coming and what is going? There are three different aspects in this. I was thinking about this for quite a while. I had read this Murli to the group here, I think last week, and ever since that, I have been thinking about these aspects. So, first is, which Baba talks about all the time, is our coming into the cycle. You see, we are actually residents of the Supreme Abode. But then we come into this cycle, this drama, we live our lives, and then at the end of the cycle, we go back home. So coming from the Supreme Abode and going back to the Supreme Abode. Now, the second could be the going to Madhuban and coming back from Madhuban to our service places. So Madhuban is our permanent location, if you will, on this planet. And then wherever we are living, we are there for service. Yeah, we are there to take care of the souls around us, to give them Baba's knowledge, to give them Baba's love, Baba's sustenance, and then to connect them to Baba. And the third aspect is about the soul entering the body and then leaving the body. See, just like, you know, um, the soul is housed in the body for a certain period of time. You see, throughout the cycle, we take 84 births. Now, during these 84 births, we come into the body, we play our parts, we play our roles, and then at the end of that lifetime, we leave our bodies, and then for a little bit of time, we stay in a bodiless state, and then go back into a body. So now in these three aspects, I invite you to think which part is coming and which part is going. You see? So, for example, the first aspect, coming from the spiritual abode and going back to the spiritual abode, or going from the spiritual abode into this world, into that world, and coming back to this supreme abode. Understand? Versus what we talked about earlier, coming into this world and going back into that world. Which is this world and which is that world? Do we consider this physical world as this world and the supreme abode as that world? That we have to go to that world? Or do we consider the supreme abode as this world and the physical world as that world? That we will go to the physical world and then come back to the supreme abode. Long back I had heard that in one of the Amit Murlis, Baba had mentioned very clearly that a true yogi is not one who stays in this physical world and keeps making effort to go into the supreme abode. Whereas the true yogi would be one who stays in the supreme abode and comes into this physical world only to play the role for as much time is needed, do whatever actions that are needed, and then go back there. Yeah, so think of it. Where do you live? Do you live in the supreme abode or do you live in the physical world? So if you see yourself living in this supreme abode, then how would you say this coming and going? That you would be going to the physical world and then coming back to the supreme abode, right? I'm trying to take this further, I'm repeating myself in a way, but just so that this thing becomes clear, that if you think that you are living in this physical world, then you would say, I come into this physical world and go back to the supreme abode. Understood? So I'm just inspiring you all to think differently. For a moment, see yourself in the supreme abode rather than in this physical world. And from the supreme abode, you're going to go down into that world, that physical world, which is really not your world. In a way, that physical world is foreign to us, foreign land, where in a way you would be alien to that world. So you would be called as alien. And then after you have lived certain number of years, certain number of lifetimes, you're going to come back to the supreme abode. Now, let's take this other example. Yeah, yeah, good, Vijay. Bye. So let's take the second example of Madhuban. So do we go to Madhuban or do we come to Madhuban? Do we go to those physical service places that we live in physically, or do we come to the service places that we live physically in? So in other words, where is our mind? If our mind is in supreme abode or in Madhuban, yeah, like in the second example, it will be Madhuban, then we would say we are coming back to Madhuban. And that place where we are living physically is just for whatever task is needed to be done, whatever service opportunities we have there, to serve people around us. That's why we are going there. Yeah. Those people who live in Madhuban on a regular basis, you see, those who are dedicated and stay in Madhuban, what do they say? We're going to such and such place for a few days, and then we're going to come back to Madhuban. Now, if we too have that mindset, although physically we could be living in Mumbai or Delhi or in US or some other country in the world, we could hold the thought that we actually live in Madhuban. Not necessarily physically, but mentally we are in Madhuban. How does that sound? And so now if we extrapolate all of this to the third example or the third aspect of coming into the body and going back into the soul conscious state. So body conscious state, soul conscious state. Because that's the most important aspect that Baba is touching upon in this murti. You see, when we are in body conscious state, then there are lots of entanglements. Recently, I think 2 days back in Sakar Murli, Baba was talking about the cobweb. But a smart spider is one who swallows up its own cobweb, the cobweb of relations, connections, all the complications that we have created. And actually, we were curious because I really didn't know that spiders actually do swallow up their own cobwebs. And so we Googled it and we found out that the spiders, yes, they do that on a constant basis. Some spiders do that more often than others. And they do that so that there is no loss of protein because every time they are secreting liquid, that solution that creates that cobweb, they're losing some protein. So when they eat their cobweb back, it's like they're reclaiming that protein that they lost from their body. So just for conservation of their own energy, they eat it up. But think of it, all the cobwebs that we have created in the world through our own lack of understanding of what is right and what is wrong, because of our getting into body conscious states. Now, if we are able to consume all those cobwebs, then we can reclaim that lost energy. We can regenerate all that, the resources that we lost, the energy that we lost, we can gain it back. But first is, why do we want to get into that? You see, so far we have all of us have created so many cobwebs, which we have to get rid of. We have to swallow all of that. But as we go forward, why do we want to create more cobwebs? Baba is wanting us to live a life of liberation in life. And that's what we tell others, that I am liberated in life, and you too can claim the right to liberation in life. That is, we are in this physical bodies of ours, yet we are not in that entangled state. We're free, we are liberated. But that can happen only when we are really in that soul conscious state, that detached state, that we are in the body, but not in the body. You see? And so think of it coming and going. In a way, Baba says, feel as if you are coming into the body to do what needs to be done for how much ever time it takes to get that thing done. Yeah, let's say you have to cook food. For that, you have to chop vegetables, you have to wash the pots, maybe even go grocery shopping. And then you'll cook the food, get it ready, offer it to Baba. And then after that, you can be back into that soul conscious state. Or if you have to drive to work 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or you have things to take care of at work, you do that. But every so often, when nothing is needed to be done through these physical organs, we can detach ourselves from these physical organs and go back to that soul conscious state. But you see, again, if you see yourself as soul, that is going into body conscious state rather than coming into body conscious state. You see? And going into soul conscious state is one thing, but if you flip it to coming back into soul conscious state, so see, the natural state for the soul is soul consciousness, which Baba emphasizes in this Murli. The natural state of the soul is being detached. The soul actually enjoys being free from the body. And even when it is in the body, it enjoys being free inside the body. And so that is liberation life. So liberation is free from the body, our existence in the Supreme Abode. And then in the Golden Age and Silver Age, we are in the body, but we are free from the body. We are not stuck in the body. Yeah, the costume is not tight. The soul doesn't experience that sense of suffocation, strangulation, that overbearing experience of being inside the body. It feels free, it feels liberated. So now, think of it for a moment. It doesn't like being in a bondage kind of state. And that is the time from Copper Age onwards, Copper Age, Iron Ages. So the soul likes to be liberated. Soul wants to remain liberated. And so we can see that that is its natural state. Coming into body consciousness is not its natural state. So instead of thinking that I am coming into body conscious state, because that would mean that body conscious state is our natural state, rather than that, we say, We're going into that body conscious state for a little bit of time, or not really body conscious state, but we're going to go into the body, experience the awareness of the body, use the body for whatever is needed, and then we're going to be free from the body as soon as the task is over. So Baba is saying that will help us in remaining detached from everything around us, that we won't create karmic accounts unnecessarily. That's the definition of karma yogi, you see. So we won't create karmic accounts with others, with the world, which will be like a cobweb that we'll have to swallow later. Yes. So this is the crux, this is the essence of the worldly. Baba is also, in a way, pulling the ears of the teachers, because teachers have to lead by example. So Baba is saying, yes, by all means, eat, drink, do whatever needs to be done, but do not forget this aspect about detachment. And so everyone, whether it's a teacher or not a teacher, every soul has to see how detached he or she is, because attachment is the source of all pain and suffering. The more detached we are, the less there will be pain and suffering. And Baba doesn't want to see us laboring, but also Baba doesn't want to see us suffering. So if we can go into that soul conscious state all the time, or we can come back into soul conscious state. Yes. Yeah. See, we are so habituated in saying we go into soul conscious state. But should we even say that? Yeah, we should say coming back into soul conscious state. We had gone into body conscious states, but we are coming back into soul conscious state. That's the natural state of affairs for us. That's a natural way of existence for the soul. Yeah. And so Murli starts with a lovely visualization of the Chatrak. And this too, I was thinking that Chatrak birds are thirsty for one drop of knowledge. We have gotten a lot. And so why are we still Chatrak? Because in a way, we are greedy for every drop of Baba's knowledge, you see. We are not thirsty for one drop, we are thirsty for every drop. People in the world are thirsty for one drop. They have not had any experience of God. It is our responsibility, it is incumbent on us. See, today is Sunday for you all, and so you'll be listening to the Avyak Murli, which was actually, which is going to be uh, the New Year's Murli, 31st December 2009, if I'm not mistaken. And so Baba reminds us that the old age is going to be over, the new age is starting, but not just the new age and the new world, really. It is the new us that we have to create. The old sanskaras have to go away. The old ways of behavior, the old nature has to go away. And a total reinventing of the self has to happen. Reprogramming, reinventing, but in a way going back to the original state that we all were in the Supreme Abode as well as in the Golden and Silver Ages. So yeah, we want all of it. We have received it all. Yes, according to our capacity. It's available for us, We can take all of it or we can take part of it. But whatever we have received, it is incumbent on us to present this to the world out there, to the souls who live with us and around us, that God is here, God is giving us this entire inheritance of liberation and liberation life, and you too have a right to claim it. Yes. So that's how Baba starts this. And like I told you about the karma and becoming free from karma, free from the bondage of karma. So we don't really become free from karma, but free from the bondage of karma. That our actions should be such that they don't create more cobwebs than what are already there. So on one hand, we have to destroy the older cobwebs, swallow it all, which probably will help us regain all the energy that we had lost, and then also make sure that we do not create new karmic accounts, new cobwebs. So here Baba also talks about spin. So when we do actions in body consciousness, then we get into the spin, we get caught up in the spin. That's how people in the world are, always caught up in a spin, always busy, trying to fix things which they have messed up with, and and just not sure of what needs to be done. They don't even have the time, the energy to do anything meaningful because they are in a spin. If somebody is sitting on a merry-go-round and it is spinning round, then that person won't be able to read a book, write a book, or do anything meaningful. It is fun to be in that state of spinning, but you really can't do anything meaningful. So we too, if we are in that spin state, then we won't be able to do anything productive. Yes, and so we should make sure that we are not deceived by anything. Any deception that we are involved in will give us only sorrow. All right. Yes, Baba says, you're not the ones who would get deceived because you're the ones who have to free people from their deception. Okay. What else is there? Yeah, so Baba is telling us to take pride in this practice that Baba is teaching us of going into the body and freeing ourselves from the body. It's coming back into the soul conscious state. The more we do this, the in a way looser the costume will become. And so when it is the time for us to leave our bodies, the body is the costume, then we'll be able to leave the body very easily. Yeah. We are world servers, we are godly students, so we have to pass with honors and become karmatit like the Father, Brahma. Yes. Baba is saying, the benefits of this kind of a state where we are in a subconscious state, detached from the body, we will be able to create the right vibrations. So if we are explaining to someone for an hour, it is very possible that the soul may not get much benefit out of it. But if we speak for 15 minutes with that consciousness in that karmatit state, in that detached state, not exactly karmatit, but a sort of like a karmatit detached state, we are soul conscious in that moment, then we will be able to create a bigger impact on that soul. The vibrations will be much more powerful, and so there'll be bigger success in whatever service we are doing. So while we are serving through our words, we need to serve through our vibrations, through our feelings, yeah, and that way we'll be able to experience a lot more success. And then again, Baba is saying attention versus tension. If we pay attention to this aspect of soul consciousness, remaining detached from the body, coming and going, then we won't have any tension. Okay, Ji. So this is how the Murli goes. And then the beautiful salutation to all the children from this land and abroad. So that is Madhuban, right? Madhuban and abroad, who always have a right to the elevated souls who always maintain the essence of Gyan in yoga, to the souls who are to become complete with the awareness of coming and going, souls who constantly follow Father Brahma and come close to their Karmati stage, to the children who stay in the happiness of the feeling of belonging and having a right, to those with happiness of the heart, Baptada's love, remembrance, and Namaste. Okay. So we spiritual children say Namaste to the spiritual father. Okay, Ji. Very powerful, Murli. Very simple, very straightforward. Not too many aspects in this. The central theme of this is coming in very, really. And that's what we do on a regular basis, anyways. We go to work, we come back home, or we come to work and then go back home. What do you all do, by the way? Do you come to work and go back home, or do you go to work and come back home? Or no, yeah. Do you come to work and go back home, or come go to work and come back home? What do you do on a regular basis every day? Well, were you able to understand the difference? Go to work and come back home. Yeah, yeah. Who likes work anyways, right? But sometimes people do. Some people are workaholics, and so they feel, oh, I've come back to work. Yeah. Oh no, I have to go back home. So for them, work is home. They get too attached with work, only to find that their home front is falling apart. So here too, if we look at this world as work and the Supreme Abode as home, or body consciousness, or not really body consciousness, but awareness of the body, using the body, that state as work, and being in so conscious state as the home. And the problem is that we have gotten so used to our bodies, so used to this physical world, that this feels like home, that we have to flip the chart, right? Yeah. Flip the script, actually. Flip the meaning of our lives. Have you ever thought, yeah, before I go further, yeah, any other thoughts? Any questions so far?
Yeah, Svetang Bhaiji, thank you so much. This interesting discussion that you are going and coming. So, of course, I feel like I am going to work and then coming back to home after completing the work. So, always coming to home, the physical home I'm talking about. But yes, similarly, we should also have the consciousness when we uh, travel to Parandam or the pilgrimage of remembrance that Baba says. So we need to have that consciousness that I am coming back my original home, right? So that's the practice that one needs to have. But here, like you said, the practice that we have is being in the body, right? And experiencing this world for 5,000 years, or at least from the Copper Age until um, Kali Yuga. So we did not really know that we don't belong here, right? We belong, originally we belong there. So in the incorporeal world, or the supreme abode. So the practice that we have is living in this corporeal world. So that is very much influencing one to stay back here, right? Don't you feel? And now Baba has come and then giving us this practice, detaching from the body. So the journey becomes interesting, and staying in Parandam become interesting only when we learn that art of becoming bodiless, right? And then start
And vice
enjoying.
versa. And vice versa. The joy of bodilessness comes when we see ourselves in the Supreme Abode. See, so both ways. Good, yeah. Let's keep going, brother.
Yeah. So 5,000 years of practice, actually, we are not learning to detach from the body, right? So we are only learning to get attached to the body, isn't it? So
Mm,
uh, that practice is actually making things difficult, isn't it? Unknowingly, we practiced staying in the body, not
right.
detaching from the body. Right. So
Yeah.
suddenly Baba coming in telling us to become detached and telling us there is a real world up above where we all belong, where we have come from, where we have started our journey, and we are all are still in the journey, getting back until we reach our home. The journey continues, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Think of it as we were in Supreme Abode, and before we left the Supreme Abode, Baba gave us some directions. I'm sending you to this golden age, this beautiful world where you're going to be super peaceful, super happy, no conflicts, no diseases, no illness. But you got to not get attached to the body. So we all promise Baba, yeah, yeah, don't worry, Baba, we'll stay detached. So through the 2,500 years of golden and silver ages, we remain detached from the body. So we use the body when and where and however it was needed. And then when it was time for us to leave our bodies, we left our bodies very easily because throughout the lifespan, we remain in that detached state. But then upper age comes, and that's when we forget that amnesia happens. We forget all the directions that Baba gave us and all the promises we gave to Baba. And so then we become attached to the body. So 2,500 years of attachment to the body. And so now Baba is reminding us of those directions as well as the promise that we made. So that's it. Yeah. So, yeah, it's very interesting actually. I was telling this one time, it just came to my mind that, have you seen a yo-yo happening, yo-yo game? You remember those yo-yo we used to play in our childhood? I don't know if people don't really play with it nowadays. We would have a ring kind of thing in our finger, middle finger, we would put it and we would play with that yo-yo. So almost like a yo-yo, we are in the supreme abode. We are looking down into that physical world, and so not looking down into this physical world. So you see, our vocabulary has to change, our lexicon has to change drastically. So this world versus we say it as that world. So right now, I invite you all to see yourself in the supreme abode, and like you are on the top of a mountain, right? And you're looking at the town below. So similarly, you're looking at the physical world below. And so just like a yo-yo, you're going to go down, do what needs to be done for that much period of time, and then you're going to come back. And then next day, maybe you have more tasks to take care of. So you go back into that physical world, and then it's possible that you this time are going to be there only for a couple of hours, do what needs to be done again, and then come back to the supreme abode. It's a beautiful feeling. Suddenly you feel so empowered, so different. So tremendously liberating experience, seeing yourself there and going down into the physical world. You see? So seeing yourself there, coming down, no. Seeing yourself in the supreme abode and going down there into the physical world. See, it takes time to change that lexicon. Every so often we keep going back to that older version of how we would look at things, this point of view, mm, this perspective. Yeah. So we have to take the effort consciously to change this perspective completely. I'm up here in the Supreme Abode. I'm going down into the physical world. I am a soul free from the body. I'm going to go into the body to do whatever needs to be done, then come back into that state of a soul being free from the body. Right? Isn't that fun? Think about
Yeah,
it.
it's definitely it's really a beautiful feeling. Indeed, that you know, coming from home and then entering to the body and then carrying out the action and then returning home.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Anything else? Anyone else? Have you ever thought, does this thought ever cross your mind that which people in the world ask this all the time, that why do we even have to come into the cycle? So we come into the cycle, golden and silver ages, lot of fun. Then we come down, keep coming down, even through the golden and silver ages. Yeah, that's why the golden age changes to silver and then the copper and then the iron. So we keep going around the cycle, go back or come back into the supreme abode, then go back into the cycle. Yeah. From their point of view, they say go back to the supreme abode and then come back into this physical cycle. So, what is the reason? What is the purpose? Why are we doing this? Have you thought about it? What do you think?
Uh, I think we are bound by the drama to do that. Even if we desire, it's not in our control. That I think I don't want to come in the cycle, but still that happens
So, what
beyond
is the
my
meaning? But what is the meaning of all of this? Is there a meaning to this? Have you heard of that
other.
story? Yeah, go ahead, dear brother.
No, otherwise we may get bored staying in the supreme abode. So there has to be fun, right? So soul would like to explore. Um, I mean, just some
Right.
chindan I'm sharing. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. True, true. Yeah. That's the traditional answer in a way. Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense. Also, just wondering, have you heard of that Greek mythological story of King Sisyphus? Yeah. Anyone heard that? So King Sisyphus was a very arrogant guy. He um, was always at war with the gods, and so one time, I guess the gods got very upset with him and cursed him. I don't remember the entire story, but the main crux of this is that they cursed him. And what you'll have to do for the rest of eternity is to take a huge boulder up on your shoulders or push it up the slope of a very steep mountain. And every day in the morning at sunrise, you'll have to start doing that. You will roll it up, which is not going to be easy, or put it on your shoulders and climb up the mountain. And as soon as you'll reach the peak of the mountain, the stone, that rock, will slip out of your hands and roll back down. So that will happen at dusk. So next day morning, you will wake up and you'll have to take that boulder back up to the peak. Again, that's going to happen. And every day you're going to do that. So what does that look like? Almost like our lives, right? Just coming into the cycle and, and starting all over again. So in a way, it is a meaningless struggle. But the beauty is that in this meaninglessness, what meaning are we giving to this whole thing? It depends on us. The larger the meaning, that we give to all of this, the bigger the experience for us. The smaller the meaning, the lesser the experience. So, although it might seem meaningless, but all the rich experiences we had, although we may have forgotten all of those, so there is no explicit memory of all our past births from golden age through silver age, copper age, iron age. We don't remember all of those. But those rich experiences we had after we finish this cycle, we'll go to the Supreme Abode. And then we will have a whole slew of rich experiences again. Yeah. So, in a way, it is not the destination, but the journey itself. Yeah. You've heard this statement over and over again, almost like a cliche. But have we truly understood this? Yeah, so just giving you a new meaning or different meaning of this whole thing of journey versus destination. So destination is going back to the Supreme Abode, but which is more fun, the journey or the destination? What we are learning during the journey is so much more meaningful than actually ending the journey and going back into the Supreme Abode or coming back to the Supreme Abode. So in a way, almost as if you can look at this entire cycle from a very existential point of view. That is the basis of existentialism. There's one branch of philosophy. In fact, there is another branch of philosophy, they call it as absurdism. So in a way, there is no meaning to all of this, but whatever meaning you ascribe to this existence, this whole cycle, is what becomes your meaning. Yeah. So, in other words, we have to create our own experiences. We are responsible for our own experiences. And, in this Murli, there is one statement that Baba is saying that, the sense of belonging to Madhuban, you feel that you've come back home. Do you all truly tell me the truth? Feel that deep sense of belonging to Madhuban? Or you feel a more sense of belonging to your local center? Which is more?
Madhuban, brother.
Well, yeah, okay. Examine yourself. The first answer we always tend to say is yes, Madhuban. But do we feel that kind of belonging? Because in a way, many times we feel as if we are guests there. We enjoy the stay there. It's up in the mountains, nice weather. Food is prepared for us, ready, and we don't have to even wash our dishes. Our rooms get cleaned. We can do tapasya. So yes, a comfortable place. Why not? It sounds great. It feels great. One can enjoy that space. You have seniors there, great energy. But how much do you feel a sense of belonging? And if you don't feel a sense of belonging, let's say we're truly honest and we say we're not feeling that much of sense of belonging. We feel a more sense of belonging to the center that we are connected to. Or some people don't even feel that. I ask people, some people run and come to the center. Some people say we don't have that sense of belonging. So who is responsible for that feeling of belonging? Let me rephrase the question. So if you are not experiencing a sense of belonging, either to Madhuban or to your center, whose responsibility is it that you start having that sense of belonging? If you want to have an experience of that feeling of belonging, you have to create it. Mm. Or will it be delivered on a on a platter? It's like a fruit platter. Yeah. Just like mommy parosifies the food on a plate and gives it to us. Yeah, your mommy does that. Yeah, mommy does that to children, right? In India, it is a very common phenomenon when children will just come and sit at the table, and mommy will be working the whole day in the kitchen, and then put all the sabji, roti, everything on a plate and bring it at the table for the children to enjoy. Is that how life really works? Is it somebody else's responsibility to give us that experience of that sense of belonging, or for that matter, any experience? Yeah. Going back to what I was saying, that sense of meaning in our lives, yeah, through this lifetime, but not just this lifetime, throughout the entire cycle. Whose responsibility is it? Mine or someone else's?
Yeah, our
Okay.
own responsibility.
See, when I'm asking this question, the answer becomes obvious. It's almost like a rhetorical question, no? But still, the answer remains elusive on a regular basis because we don't take time to think about these things. We don't take out or create opportunities for ourselves to reflect on these matters in a deep way. Sometimes we're just thinking about Baba's knowledge on a very superficial uh, plane rather than going deeper into it. All right, so that's it. If you have any other thoughts, any other questions, you're welcome to ask. Otherwise, we could meditate for a few minutes and call it a day. Yes. Hopefully, this will give you some food for thought for the day. Of course, you'll have the Abhyak Murli that we'll be reading today. It is super profound as well. Baba talking about all the self-respect points that Baba gives us, the treasures, all the treasures that we're receiving from Baba, we have to share them with the world. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful movie. But also, I invite you to think about these aspects, going and coming, from all the three different aspects, but also these two different points of view, right? The three aspects was coming into the cycle or going into the cycle. Then the second aspect was Madhuban, going to Madhuban or coming to Madhuban. The third was coming into this body or going into this body. Okay, that's it. Yeah, shall we end?
Yes, Dangpai, yes.
All
Can have
right.
a short meditation, yes.
Well, let's do that. Let's do. So just like we did earlier, invite you all to see yourself in the superior point. That is your original home. And that's where you live, actually. That's your address. And the physical world is a foreign land. like a different country where you would be going to work. In many parts of the world, the neighboring countries are at peace with each other. Many of these European countries, you can easily cross the border. Somebody could be living in Germany and be traveling to Belgium every day to work. So see yourself as resident of the Supreme Abode, going to work into this physical world or that physical world, a different country. Okay. You know that it's just a workplace. Just a workplace. That's it. And just like a yo-yo, the strings are pulling you back to the Supreme Abode. And because of that, you can't get entangled in this physical world, the workplace. You'll do whatever is needed to be done. And there'll be that constant pull at the string to pull you back to the Supreme Abode. It's very powerful. It's very liberating. It's an amazing experience. Shanti. Kechi? All right, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, over to Ami Ben for closing the session.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Shwetang Bhai. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, have a blissful day.